Hey there. Hey, Katrina. Hey, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. The rain is taking down my little bit of mohawk I have left. Hey, Kashonda is taking it by force. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. I hope you all are having a good morning. How you guys doing out there? Hey, I believe that's Lavisha, Demetria. So glad you all are on the scope today. Hey, Treal, Al, so glad you joined. Allie. So let me know where you're scoping from. I have to leave my house. Laugh out loud. I know. Oh my God. And I've been periscoping on non-Wi-Fi for long scopes is not a good idea for people that don't have unlimited. So this is going to be a quick scope. So if you are not on Wi-Fi, don't worry. This will be, I'm thinking no more than 10 minutes, if that. So we're not going to be long. Data is no joke. Okay, data is no joke. And I went from having unlimited to now being limited. And I'm like, okay, I got to be more strategic. I got to be more strategic. Yeah, some scopes I'm catching live, and sometimes I'm going to have to catch the replay. Hey, you want to go to, oh, she's talking to somebody else. So, hey, let me spare you your Wi-Fi or not, and get right to it. Because today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to establish meaningful, godly relationships. Like relationships that will be beneficial to you, and relationship will be beneficial to the other person. And God has really been dealing with me in this area of relationship, in this area of community, in this area of connection this year. He's been like all up and through my lane, all up and through on my toes. And I just want to share with you some of the revelations that I received about establishing meaningful relationships. And when I'm talking about here, this is not necessarily talking about a relationship with a guy or whatever, which I think it still applies, but I'm just talking about meaningful relationships, everyday relationships with one another. That could be your family members, that could be your sisters, that could be, we gotta, it's introvert life, we gotta, and I know everybody's not an introvert, but whether you're an introvert or not, sometimes we're not keenly aware of how we're showing up in our relationships and how it's really reflecting on other people. Katrina's saying she never met a stranger. So we gotta work that out, because you know what? Let me tell you, this year God has really been convicting my spirit to saying a couple of things. In the Word of God, it says, John 13:34-35, it says, love one another as I have loved you, that you must also love one another. By this all will know that you're my disciple, if you have love for one another. Well, I was convicted by that because it showed me that I cannot show love for other people if, for one, I'm never out and about. Like, if I'm always home, it's hard for me to demonstrate and show love for other people, right? How can I do that if you're never nowhere and you're always clammed up and people can't get to you? So in order to show love, we have to show up. We have to show up at work, and I'm just not talking about being there. You need to show up fully present, and you need to show up with a cheerful heart and a cheerful spirit, ready to, pour and love on other people. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. And not only that, when we show up, we have to just show that love and make sure that we're being considerate and compassionate about other people. We can't make everything about our life, our goals, our priority, and our agenda. I'm telling you, I've been guilty, because I tend to, I say that, I do have a gift that I'm like, have this crazy ambition, and I'm crazy focused, you know what I mean? And I can set a goal and just focus on that goal and go straight for it. However, in that, I got to make sure that I'm not ignoring, I don't have my blinders on so much that I'm ignoring the other relationships in my life, relationships with my sisters, my mom, and other people, that I'm not just so focused on my goal and my agenda and what I want, that I'm not even being considerate of what's going on in the lives of others. I'm not even considerate or take the time out to tap in and check on the next sister or my, you know what I'm saying, other people in my life. And I'm just going to encourage you to focus in this life, right? I'm going to encourage you to take a self-examination. Like, how much time and energy are you spending, okay, well, how much time and energy are you spending just focusing on you and your life and doing your thing? And like I said, I've been crazy guilty of this, because I could get focused and I just have to realize that I need to tap out of that and check on other people, just contacting other people. If you never are making calls out and checking on other people, then that may be a reflection that you may have been a little, and people call it self-absorbed, really is what it is, being self-absorbed, just so concerned and consumed about what you're doing. I'm actually in the midst of reading this book, Tap Out. Yes. I'm in the process of reading this book, and it's talking about how to have influence, how to win friends and influence. And one of the recurring themes in that book is that you have to consider other people. You have to consider what they're going through, be compassionate towards them, and just tapping in with them to see what's going on in their life. So I think you guys got the point. But I also want to use some examples to share this with you. Think about with the journey with Ruth and Naomi, right? And this is also a good example to talk about how, as believers, because I know we get into these little Christian cults. I know I'm not the only one sometimes being like a little Christian cult, and not saying that it's a cult activity, but I'm just saying we get into these clusters of Christian communities, and we're spending all this time in the fellowship arm, but we're not spending enough time in the ministry or outreach to non-believers, right? So we want to make sure we're doing both, because think about the relationship with Naomi and Ruth. When Naomi was the mother-in-law of Ruth. Let me not get it confused. Yeah, she was the mother-in-law. So Naomi, she was a believer, and Ruth wasn't, but she was married to her son. The son ended up passing away, but they still stuck together. But I know that one of the reasons that Ruth was so faithful to Naomi is because Naomi showed that love. She showed that godly love, like she loved on her, and she ministered to her, not so much even with words, but just with her action. And she was so, as a result, they created this mutually beneficial relationship where at one time Naomi was, probably the one pouring more into Ruth and loving on her and showing the love of God. But then when Naomi went through a trial and tribulation, then Ruth was there for her and loving and supporting on her, right? And she actually, as a result of how Naomi was showing up in her life and, in God, she converted. Ruth became, I'm gonna serve the God you're serving. I'm gonna follow you wherever you go. She's like, I'm not about that old life, because that old life is not serving me. I see you about that God life, and that God life is where it's at, and I'm going where you go. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. That in our relationship, sometimes we will be the one pouring into the other person, and sometimes other people will pour into us. But we want it to be mutually beneficial. We want to make sure we're reaching out. And also, I wanted to share talking about, you heard about Martha and Mary and Lazarus, who was all siblings. And they talk about how Martha was a server and how she served Jesus, and how Mary, she just wanted to sit at the feet of Jesus, but all of them with their gifts, they blessed him. And that's really what it's about having our relationships. It's about giving. It's about making the other person a priority as appropriate, right? It's going to be different seasons where you're going to be able to give more, and other seasons where you're not going to be able to give as much. But I just wanted to encourage you that I kind of marked these out as a couple of points. I kind of just been all over the place. But one thing I said here was avoid being self-absorbed, right? So that's the first point. Don't be so caught up with what you got that you ain't paying attention to nothing or no one, what else anybody else is going through, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Get out the mirror. Yeah. Even say, right now we're promoting the brunch and branding. But you know what? Before I just go and get all up in people's space about, come to my event, blah, 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 blah. I am making sure that I check into knowing what's going on in their life, what's going on in their space. Because sometimes people can be dealing with death. They can be dealing with, other personal illnesses and things. And we don't want to be just, come to my event. Okay, got it. But can you see how I'm doing first? Can you just make sure life is good, I'm still breathing, before you invite me to your event? So just kind of taking that time out to get out the mirror and love one another. The second point was just really extending out to believers and non-believers, not being in that Christian cult and saying, okay, I get it, yeah, I'm a believer, I'm going to spend that time for the fellowship, but I'm also going to be reaching out to non-believers to bring them in my circle. So glad you joined the scope. We are just wrapping up. I have a third point or another point here, but I can't read it. Oh, I was just saying give and take, that your relationships should be some element of give and take. Okay. Yeah, it should be some level of give and take. So there will be certain things, like I say, sometimes you will be benefiting from the relationship and that person will be pouring into you, but it's reciprocal. It's reciprocal. You guys should be doing that. So I just encourage you right now, if you haven't spent some time reaching out to a friend, loving on somebody, would you do that today? Would you reach out to maybe somebody you haven't spoke to in a while and just check on them and see how they're doing? I got one more thing before I leave this scope, actually. I had saw a post on Facebook the other day, and on that post, it was a young girl, maybe young woman. She was maybe 40 years old. Yes, that's important, Demetria. Let people reach back for you. But it was this lady who, I think she was like 38 years old. She was from, I believe she was from London. Very popular lady, actually. She was pursuing an acting career. And the crazy thing is, people didn't know she was dead until 3 years after she passed away. Like 3 years. Like, how can somebody be dead for 3 years and people not know? Like, that's a long time. But the thing is, what a lot of people are believing is that somehow she became so detached from the world and from people that when she didn't show up, people didn't know, because they were used to her not showing up. It was her normal not to be there. So, so don't let that be you. And don't let that be your girlfriend or somebody you know that so much time has passed that nobody even knows she's gone. Take a moment to check on that person. Say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Just want to let you know that I love you, that you ever need anything, I'm here. If you ever need somebody to talk to, that I want to support and I want to love you. We've been called to show love, y'all. So let's do that. Reach out to somebody. Who's going to do that for me today? I'm going to do it. I'm going to reach out. I'm thinking about a girlfriend that I haven't talked to in a long time. I know she likes sometimes to be a lone ranger. I'm going to reach out to her today. Would you guys put a 1 on the screen today if you're going to accept the challenge to show love today and reach out to somebody that you know, a non-believer, or it could be a believer, and just check on them and say, hey, how you doing? If you guys can just put a 1, thank you. If you're going to be doing that today, because we got to show love for one another. And some of you guys are just hopping on, but the scripture I quoted earlier was John 13:34-35, where the word of God says that, you must love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this, all will know that you're my disciples, when you have love for one another. And we got to get up, show up, take advantage of the give and take of relationships and invest in those so we can have meaningful relationships. It's so important. All right, I think you guys got my point. I'm so glad you're jumping on. I don't think we count. I gotta stretch. Laugh out loud. I'm gonna jump off. I said it was gonna be a short scope. I'm sparing people who are on non-Wi-Fi right now, like myself. So you guys, love you all. So glad you joined. If this is your first time, welcome to this scope. If this is your first time, if you missed some of it, I encourage you to go back and watch the replay. I encourage you to follow this scope. And I guess it would be appropriate for me to tell you who I am, because I didn't mention that at the beginning. So I am Jill Bullock, and I'm the founder of one of the founders of DetourMovement, Inc. When we believe when you renew your mind, you transform your entire life. My sister Treal is also a founder of the organization, and we're just all about helping women to renew their mind, because we just know that you can have so much joy, so much peace, so much love, and experience an amazing relationship by just showing up as the best version of yourself, just as God has created you to be, unapologetically, right? Authentically, and being okay if people accept you or not. Just saying the only person and the only acceptance that really matters is God acceptance. So that's what we want to encourage you. That's what we want to say. I want to encourage you to join our Facebook group at DMI Fabulous I Am members. Again, DMI Fabulous I Am members is a community of women of faith who just support and love on one another and encourage one another every step of the way in our journey. Okay, so if you're in Charleston, we're having a brunch in Brandon on January 30th. 4 tickets left, only 4 tickets left for that, and we'll be having a brunch in Brandon in DMV. So if you want to attend the brunch in Brandon in DMV, look like it's going to be February 27th, you can go ahead and email us at JillandTreal@DetourMovement.com. So if you like, I'm in a DMV and I want to go, thanks, Dimitri, you're so awesome. Take a screenshot and you can look it up. She posted it just now. Take a screenshot. So if you're in a DMV, just email us at JILLANDTREAL@DetourMovement.com and just title it DMV Brunch in Brandon. We will put you on the VIP list, and when we get the registration page up, you will be the first one of the first people to get that registration page. Thank you, love. Appreciate you guys. Well, you guys have a good day. Show some love. Thank you all for taking the challenge. And even people that didn't put a 1 up, I'm still waiting for y'all to put a 1 up, because we got to show love for one another. Even if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you show love for one another. I dare you. I dare you to do that. Dare to show love today. So be blessed.